Welcome to the demo of GitHub Copilot. So it's an AI pair programmer option available again based on the same technology as ChatGPT. So in this demo, I would just want to showcase like how this technology can actually help a developer and help them reduce their development time by up to 25%. So if you are not aware about pair programming, so it's basically a concept in programming where you have like two developers working together and actually coding together. But in this case, I don't have another person available, and it's AI is actually helping me in that case. So for the use case of this demo, right, what I want to do is write a program where I want to do a stock data analysis, right? I'm using an API which is an open source from Alpha Ventes, right? And I just want to do a stock analysis of like, whether it's going up or down, and for a whole week. And for that, what I'm going to do is basically create a program within Python. So now already done that, but I'm going to just walk you through the steps like what I've done. So basically, this is my Visual Studio IDE, and to enable GitHub Copilot in that, you basically have to install the extension, which is GitHub Copilot. Once you do that, definitely you need a license. You can get a trial license from GitHub Copilot. And once it's installed, this extension installed, it's actually available within your IDE, right, itself. So what I'm going to do is, now I did that earlier. So I'll just showcase like, how that actually works. So what I'm going to do is like do my weekly stock data analysis, right? And I want to use Alpha Ventes API. So the first thing that I'm going to start with is like create a weekly stock data analysis program using the Alpha Ventes API, right? So that's the only thing. Now, by default, it knows that I want to create an API. So this is the particular library within Python that you actually use to create API, which is request. It already identified that. I mentioned data analysis, so it already know that I want to use matplotlib. Again, those are the recommendation the AI programmer is basically giving us. And I'm just importing it, right? So I just mentioned my intent, like what I want to do, which was this comment earlier in the top, and it actually giving me all of the things that I require as a developer, right? So the first thing, it analyzed that, if you want to do stock data analysis, like you need to get some input from the user. So here I have taken stock symbol, which is like a user gonna provide. And once that is done, so it's gonna look for an API. So automatically these auto completion are coming, get the weekly stock data from the API, and it's going API key. Okay, this is like already he has taken the API key, which I had like stored in my development environment. It already knows this is the API that I need to call for time series weekly analysis. Now, GitHub Copilot has been trained on all of the repo within GitHub, right? Which is like, and based on that, it already knows like this is the API, right? It's the time series weekly. I don't even have to go to the documentation of Alpha Ventes to identify it. It already done for that. It's already provided the stock simple input, and it already input the API key. Now it knows that I have to fire the request, use the request library to fire the URL and get the response. Once that done, it already know that it's gonna have to convert in JSON format, and it's just gonna print the data. So basically, I've not written anything in it. And if I just go with running this program now, okay, and I would say market data analysis. So, and I say I want to analyze the data for IBM, right? Pretty much just gone to that API, fetched everything, and just printed it. So as a pair programmer, it actually helped me write everything, and I just have to give my intent in that, right? And automatically it's giving me all of the inputs that I require as a developer. You can go further. I want to analyze that as a graph. So that's what I'm gonna do. Automatically it knows that I want to use matplotlib for it, and it's taken data, it's gonna correct the data, it's gonna create a list out of that data which is coming from that API. I'm not typing any of it, right? So automatically it's giving recommendation, I'm just taking it, right? Now it's creating the graph, it's giving the title, it's giving the X label, Y label, and it's gonna show, right? Again, I've not written anything, right? So it's like helping me out. So if I just run it now, and if I go with IBM, you can use whatever that is available. And if you go in, now I have the market data analyzed, right? All of the graph is there and I can analyze. So as a pair programmer, right, I don't have to remember all of these things, right? Though as a developer, okay, these are the libraries I have to use, but this is how it actually reducing the time by 25%, that I don't have to worry about all of these things. It actually analyzed all of the data, right? So it already the beauty is that it actually knows, so even the data, like what it returns, like an API, it knows at the fourth position I have this close value, which you can see from here, that this is the close value, right? I didn't even have to check the, what's the output from that API, right? So I didn't have to manually map it, within the data structure. Automatically it knows. So that's it. I think having this tool actually gonna improve our efficiency from a developer perspective by up to 25%.